welcome back to the Cocco channel and to another tag video. As you can tell from the title, it's a Halloween tag. I saw Alyssa Liu do this first, and I don't know what it is with people doing tags and not writing the questions in the description box, but she didn't, so I had to go searching for it, and I did find it on a ton of other people's channels, and only one of which actually wrote the questions in the description box. I don't understand that, but anyways, it's 30 questions, so let's go ahead and get started. I am going to write these questions in the description box for anyone else who wants to do it on their channel. If you don't have a channel and you are a subscriber of mine, I would absolutely love to hear some of your answers in the comment section down below. We can get together all night. Okay, so this is called, people call it different things. People call it the spooky Halloween tag or Halloween tag. I'm just gonna call it the Halloween tag. Number 1, favorite horror or Halloween themed song. My favorite scary movie theme song is definitely Halloween. If I had to pick like a Halloween themed song, it would probably be the opening to The Nightmare Before Christmas. Halloween Town, what's it called? In this town we call home, everyone hail to the pumpkin song. La, la, la. So that's my favorite horror movie song, and then the Halloween themed song would definitely be from The Nightmare Before Christmas. Okay, name something you wouldn't want to run into in the dark forest or in an abandoned building. I mean, anything. I feel like my number 1 thing would be like something demonic. I'm not good with the evil spirits, you know what I mean? Like, obviously anything that's gonna be in something like that, like vampires are evil, werewolves are evil, but you know what I mean, like demonic, like evil. Number 3, have you ever played with a Ouija board? No. I don't open myself up to that. I do have a shirt that has Ouija on it, and a lot of times people have this one lady, oh my gosh, when I was wearing my Ouija shirt, I was coming out of Rite Aid filling a prescription, and I had it on, and she handed me one of those like Jesus cards, like telling you, and she was like, Jesus loves you, and I was like, I know, but it's just a shirt. For favorite horror monster or villain, favorite horror monster or villain, I feel like everything's gonna be Halloween. Like Michael Myers, the original Halloween, is my all-time favorite, so definitely Michael Myers. The creepiest thing that's ever happened while you were alone. Creepiest thing that's ever happened to you while you were alone. We lived in this cabin in Arkansas, and I swear up and down that thing was freaking haunted. I lived in the basement, which sounds a lot creepier than it actually was. My parents like completely remodeled it and made it into like a living space. Like I had my own kitchen area. It had like a living room area with like TV, you know what I mean, like an entertainment little area. I had my own walk-in closet, my own bedroom, my own bathroom, and going upstairs to where like my parents were steps that were wooden, and I swear I used to hear people like going up and down the stairs like all night long, like give you chills, kind of scary stuff, you know what I'm saying? Number 6, if you were dared to spend the night in a haunted house, would you do it? It depends. I've actually spent the night in a haunted destination. Where I lived in Arkansas was called Eureka Springs, and that was the first time. There was this hotel called there is this hotel called the Crescent Hotel, and that was the first time when Ghost Hunters very first came out. It was the first time that they caught a spirit on the show, was at the Crescent Hotel in Eureka Springs, Arkansas. You can totally Google it or YouTube it. And me and my friend Chris, when we did the road trip the last time, we stayed the night there, and I don't think we had like any experiences or anything like that, but our senior prom was held there, and they do tours like through the basement, which used to be a morgue. It used to be a mental hospital, I think. And we did like a tour one Halloween, like me and a friend, when I was still living there, and I never really had experiences there. But if you're talking about like an abandoned, like haunted house, like no, I ain't about that. Not doing that. Are you superstitious? Sometimes, like, just stupid things. Like when you go through a yellow light, me and my friend Chris would like kiss our hand and then the roof to make it through the light safely. I remember when I was littler, I used to like raise my feet over train tracks because that was like bad luck. Not stepping on cracks. So I guess so. A little bit. Do you ever see figures in your peripheral vision? All the time. All the time. I can constantly see things moving out of the side of my eye. All the time. Which urban legend scares you the most? I can't even remember any urban legends. What was the one about eating Mentos and drinking soda or something like that would like explode your insides? That used to scare me. We'll just go with that one. I can't remember any of it. Do you prefer gore or thrillers? Definitely thrillers. You know what I mean? I feel like in Michael Myers and like even some of like the Friday the 13th, it was like all about the chase, like being like on the edge of your seat, you know what I mean? And then they came out with like a Saw and stuff like that, and I'm not into like torture and gore, like cutting off body parts and like, you know what I mean? Like giving people autopsies while they're still alive, stuff like that. No, I'm not down with that. Do you believe in multiple dimensions or worlds? No. Ever made a potion of any sort? No. Although I remember when I was like a freshman in high school, I was like in my kind of goth phase, I guess. I kept trying to check out books at our high school library like on witchcraft, because I think that was like around the time, well, it was probably like a couple years later that The Craft came out, you know what I mean? And so I thought witches were super cool, and Charmed was out, which I love Charmed. So I did try to check out books on witchcraft, but I never like made a potion or did chants or anything like that. Do you get scared easily? It's so crazy. Like, I don't get scared with like scary things, but my husband can literally walk around the corner. If I didn't hear him, like when I get scared, I'm like very obvious, you know what I mean? Like, "Ah!" Like I really do scream and like jump, you know what I mean? Yeah. Have you ever played Bloody Mary? Yes, I have. But I remember me and my cousin did it in my grandmother's bathroom and nothing happened. Do you believe in demons and the devil? Yes, I do. As you guys know, I am Christian, and so one can't come without the other, you know what I mean? You're home alone, but you hear footsteps in your house. What do you do? See, that has happened to me before. And my house has actually been broken into. Like, I heard somebody pounding on my door. They, like, kicked down my door. And I called the security forces here on base. It was on base here. Maybe I should do a story on that because it was crazy. So, I mean, if I hear footsteps in my house, I'm going to call the cops. And then if they come and nobody's there, I guess I would call the priest. If you get trapped in one scary movie, which would you choose? Halloween? Because I know what to do. Don't have sex because you always get killed while you're having sex. Number 2, don't fall when you're running. I feel like that is like pretty obvious. And leave Haddonfield. Because I mean, he's just there for the most part. If you could only wear one Halloween costume for the rest of your life, what would you be? A vampire. I have a thing with vampires. I'm obsessed. Pre-Twilight, I was like, I've always been obsessed with vampires. Would you ever go to a graveyard at night? I have actually, and it's pretty fun. In a zombie apocalypse, what is your weapon of choice? Frickin' samurai sword. Duh! Michonne all the way. If you don't know who that is, she's from The Walking Dead. But I really feel like the samurai sword is the way to go, because a gun, you run out of bullets, and it makes too much noise. You'll just draw more. And a samurai sword is long enough. You could just like kill multiple at a time. You know what I mean? Like stab them all through the head at once. They're coming at you. Just chop off heads left and right. Good to go. Would you rather go to a Halloween party or go trick-or-treating? Trick-or-treating. For sure. You're in a horror movie. Are you the final girl, the first to die, the comic relief, the skeptic, the smart one, or the killer? Good God. I'm definitely not the first to die because I've seen way too many scary movies and I know what to do. I feel like I could be the comic relief, but I feel like they always die too. The skeptic, no. The smart one, I could be that too. But I'm definitely not the killer. I can tell you that much. Do you have to watch something happy after watching a horror movie so you can go to sleep? No. I love scary movies. I really do. Whilst watching scary, it literally says whilst. Whilst watching scary movies, are you the person who yells at the characters, the person with their eyes covered the whole time, or the person who falls asleep screaming at the screen? Me and my mom both are just like, what are you doing? Oh, of course you're gonna fall, of course. Oh, there goes the boobies. You know what I mean? Like, we're constantly yelling at the TV. Number 25, are you the one who gets scared or the one who does the scaring? I do scare people a lot. If you, I used to scare people at Joann's all the time. Like, I would walk around, like, I would know where they are, you know what I mean? Like, whatever they were doing, like, my fellow employees, not, like, customers. And so I would, like, peek around the aisle or be in the aisle behind and, like, stick my hand through, you know what I mean? Like, I used to scare people all the time. Favorite scary book? Does anybody remember the Scary Stories books that were out when I was like a kid, and on the front was like a skeleton? Does anybody remember those? That was like my favorite. And it had like the girl with the spider that bit her and laid the eggs in her cheek. It had like the drip 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 story in it. That was like my favorite. How old were you when you saw your first horror movie? I remember being very, very young. I'm pretty sure that my first scary movie that I did see was Michael Myers, and the first one that ever shook me, like, where, you know what I mean, like, I had nightmares, was Leprechaun. I remember I was, like, probably 5 or 6 when I watched it, because we had just moved to Las Vegas from California. And we were living with my aunt and uncle because my dad was going to paramedic school. And I remember it was me and my brother and then my 2 cousins who are all boys, right? I was the only girl and I was the youngest. Such a hard life. And we watched it one night and then we slept in the living room and they had like a kitchen island, and I was like imagining the leprechaun like peeking his little head through like around the island. Like, I could see him. I remember like being up super late at night because I could just picture his head popping from around that thing with like that devious grin and his really evil smile. That was probably the first one that ever shook me. What are you going to be for Halloween this year? So my plan originally was going to be, my mom and dad were going to be Charles and Delia, oh my god, Delia Dietz. And then I was going to have me and Andrew be Barbara and Adam, and then have Aiden dress up like Beetlejuice. Like, I thought that was like really epic, and like the whole family was involved, you know, because we're living with my parents. But I just don't know because Aiden's not old enough to dress up and like go trick-or-treating. I did dress him up as Chucky last year. But I don't know. I don't know if we're going to do anything this year or not, just because we're like coming the week before, you know what I mean? So we'll see. If I could dress up, that's what it would be though. Like, I would be Barbara. I would just get like a flower dress and like probably a wig, because she has like that really 80s permed hair, you know what I mean? So yeah. Number 30, if you could have a spooky Halloween pet, black cat, owl, bat, rat, or wolf, what would you pick? I wouldn't pick an owl. I wouldn't pick a bat or a rat. I guess a wolf, because I'm not a real huge fan of cats. So I guess a wolf, if it was nice. And that. So yeah, that is it for the Halloween tag. I did wear my Halloween shirt. I love witches, ghosts, goblins, vampires, ravens, zombies, werewolves, and spiders. I was like, what does that say? So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you do videos and you are a Halloween lover like I am, be sure that you do it. Otherwise, if you don't do videos, I would love to hear some of your guys' answers down below. Like, even if it's just like, what is your all-time favorite scary movie? Like, what scary movie like shook you the most, like that you remember? Like, mine was definitely Leprechaun. I remember that one big time, and I was like 5. I'm pretty sure I was like 5. My parents were evil. It was my mom. But anyways, other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. If you are new, hello and welcome. My name is Brittany Cocco and you are watching the Cocco channel. Please subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!